Hey guys, Steve here from Top Guns out of Terre Haute, Indiana. What is it you look for when you're purchasing a belt to carry your firearm? Alright guys, so I want you to comment down below what you look for when you are wearing a belt to carry your firearm. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the belt that I've worn for 3 years, and then I'm going to break in and tell you a little bit about the belt that we're doing a review on today. So this belt that I've worn for maybe 2 or 3 years now, I absolutely love it, and there's maybe 1 or 2 minor things about it that I didn't like or don't like, but for the most part, I absolutely love the belt that I've worn for the last couple of years. And so that belt, what I happen to like about it is kind of a hybrid belt. So it does have leather and it also has another material mixed in with it. I like the fact that the buckle is extremely solid and it's a very rigid belt. And so there's times when we look for a rigid belt and there's times when we look for a slightly less rigid belt, but still rigid for carrying firearms. And I'll explain the 2 different reasons we look for each type of belt here in just a second. So into the picture comes a company named Core. Core reaches out to us and says, hey, would you like to carry our product in your shop? And certainly before we were able to do that, I wanted to know a little more about the product. And I recommended, hey, why don't you send us some belts? We'll do a review on it. And quite frankly, that's how we support our channel. So if they wanted to send us some belts, I wasn't going to turn that down and turn down the opportunity to do a review. To be all honest, I was probably less interested in the review and more interested in, hey, is this a product that will sell well in the shop and can we make some money on it? So the last thing in my mind was that they were going to get me to change my belt from the belt that I carried every day. So, which by the way, spoiler, I ended up switching, but I'll tell you why in here in just a second. So anyway, I end up carrying their belt. I get their box of belts. I open the box. They sent me 4 or 5 belts, I don't remember how many it was exactly, and these belt loops that you can sit there and interchange. Okay, that's kind of cool because we all have different taste, but at the end of the day, is it a gimmick or is it something that's really functional and doesn't work? The next thing that is unique about their belt system is its ability to ratchet, or, and I don't know if that's the word that they use, but it basically allows you to tighten or loosen this thing incrementally. So between each of my belt notches on my other belt, there's probably an additional 5 positions on their system that they're using. So, and that is the one thing that I didn't like about my other belt, is as my gut grew or shrank or as I decided to put something else inside my waistband, what I would find is that I didn't have the right tightness on the belt and I had to end up poking a couple of extra holes in it. And then even then, it wasn't exactly perfect. Additionally, we've all been there and done this. Throughout the day, you're wearing your belt, stuff kind of settles in throughout the day and you kind of have to do one of these things. You kind of get your belt and or your magazine or whatever, your spare mags, whatever you've got on your on your waistline, and you kind of give it that little shift to get it up so that it's not as riding as low or it's not sloppy or whatever. And so that's something that we just do. We make that minor little adjustment as we're walking around. I see guys do it all the time that are carrying guns, including myself. In comes to the picture, this Core brand. They send us their belts. I open it up, put them together. We'll show you some detail later, or maybe he'll run some B footage right now and show you how this thing goes together. But what I absolutely love is the ratcheting system, because it allows you on the fly while you're already wearing it to put this system on and just give it a quick little tighten. I don't even have to I'll pull my shirt up just to show you, but I can literally just do that and give it a 1 little notch secureness to get it to where it's a little more tight. So if for some reason something needs snugged up, it's a very simple adjustment to do. Now, the reverse also works. I had a big lunch, it's a little snug, I can reach down, there's a little release button right there, I push it, and it allows it to go 1 or 2 notches out. If I need to say, perhaps I'm carrying a secondary firearm, or maybe I'm putting a spare mag on an inside the waistband instead of an outside the waistband, there again, I can loosen that up real quickly, stick that in there, and I'm good to go. So, after about, maybe 3 or 4 days, maybe it was a week, I don't remember, I end up calling and talking to one of the owners over at Core. I said, hey, I love your belts. I said, I've got one minor complaint and I would love to see you make this adjustment on it. He said, absolutely, we're always looking to grow. Tell us what you'd like to see, and if it's something that we can do, we would love to do it. I said, well, you know, I've been wearing this belt and I wear an inside the waistband holster. And I said, if I was wearing an outside the waistband holster, your belt would work absolutely perfect because it's a little bit thinner than what I normally wear. And if I was wearing an outside the waistband holster, it would be easier to fish through the belt loops. I said, but I wear an inside the waistband holster and I want my belt to be absolutely as thick and rigid as possible. Also, for those of us that are wearing an inside the waistband holster, we all know that we have that plastic little clip. I don't know if you can see this or not, but that plastic little clip that can sometimes pop off of a thin belt. So a thick belt is imperative for that purpose. So I said, you know, I would love to see you release this belt in a little bit thicker version of it. He says, well, have you tried the other belt in the box? I said, well, no, I saw that you sent several belts, so I just assumed they were all about the same thickness. So no, we've got our tactical belt in there, and sorry, belt buckle fell. So we've got our tactical belt in there. You should definitely give that a shot. Try it out. It's a thicker belt. I think it's gonna be exactly what you're looking for. He said, but having said that, we have already started the design for the thicker belt in the leather version of it. So the dressier version, they've already have that in the works, and my understanding is they're gonna send us one of those to do a review on as well. So I swapped out the belt loop and, or belt buckle rather, put it on one of the thicker ones, and I will tell you now, I'm sold. I now have switched exclusively to a new belt as my carry belt, because of the fact that it allows me to do those incremental adjustments. So it brings to the table everything that my other belt brought to the table, with one exception. This one happens to be more of a nylon tactical looking belt with a leather type material on the inside of it. So it has the look for the guys that want that tactical, but the rigidness that you can get with the polymers or leathers that you can get on the inside. The leather version of this that they're going to release is probably where I will ultimately lie, because I don't, I often wear sometimes a jean or some sort of a pant that doesn't really need the tactical look with it. So what's really cool is their system is very modular, so you can take any of their belt buckles and you can place them on any of their belts, and it allows you to have the look that suits your needs the most. All right guys, be sure and check out their site. We'll put a link down below so you can see what other stuff they have. They've got wallets and some other accessories, a lot of different things that are pretty cool. And then additionally, I'm now sold to the point at where we're gonna end up selling these in our shop. So if you wanna pick one of these belts up, you can certainly call our shop or you can go directly through them. Either way works. But appreciate you watching. Be sure and comment down below. Let me know what you look for when you're buying a belt. As always, thanks and take care.